clear cooperation policy.
Clear cooperation policy.
The clear cooperation policy.
Clear cooperation policy.
Clear cooperation policy.
Got a little fight brewing here between my local MLS and Robert Refkin. He's had multiple op-eds on Inman at this point, being clear that he does not support clear cooperation.
I would make sure that the National Association of Realtors can no longer enforce clear cooperation.
The National Association of Realtors has decided to keep its controversial clear cooperation policy in place.
But they added an entirely new policy called the Multiple Listing Options for Sellers policy.
What the heck is that?
The delayed marketing exempt listings policy allows sellers to list their property on MLS without immediately starting the public marketing process.
What the NAR did yesterday was basically to hedge their bet and to make nobody happy.
This video is brought to you by Houzeo, America's most advanced home buying and selling platform. Americans across the nation are saving on commissions with Houzeo.com. You can too. Check out Houzeo.com on the web or the Houzeo mobile app.
The great clear cooperation policy debate is over, at least for now. On March 25th, 2025, the National Association of Realtors finally reached a decision regarding this contentious policy, and it has decided to keep it as is. But there's a catch. NAR has introduced a new rule, effective immediately, and it is called Multiple Listing Options for Sellers. A middle ground? Best of both worlds? Or maybe NAR is trying to have its cake and eat it too?
Why did I just do that?
The industry has been divided into three camps so far. The anti-clear cooperation policy activists, the pro-clear cooperation policy giants, and the moderates advocating for change. And it all starts with Compass CEO Robert Refkin, the conductor of this real estate opera.
They have gone full court press to get the National Association of Realtors to repeal or significantly weaken this clear cooperation policy.
Robert has kept his foot on the gas for more than a year now. He has published multiple op-eds, appeared on national television, interviewed with major publications, all with one goal: convince NAR to drop the clear cooperation policy. NAR has waffled, giving in and not giving in at the same time. The new multiple listing offers for sellers is very consumer-friendly. Sellers can now pick how they want to market their property, whether they want to test the listing on a contained audience or get maximum visibility through the IDX. It's their decision. But when we dig deeper, a more complex story emerges. What's Compass's agenda? Does the new policy weaken clear cooperation? Will the number of pocket listings spike? Or is this just another bit of paperwork added to the mountain of forms agents deal with every day? Let's investigate. The traditional clear cooperation policy, facing pressure from all directions. NAR picked the middle ground with this new policy. NAR keeps its clear cooperation policy, offers more options to sellers, avoids potential litigation. But where does the story actually begin? What's the fate of MLS if nearly half of all homes sold last year were never listed in an MLS or were listed only after a buyer had already been lined up? These were the opening lines of an Inman article covering a 2013 Core Logic report. The report revealed that only 66% of homes were sold through the MLS. The rest through pocket listings and FSBOs. That's 34% of homes sold off market. Of the 66%, as much as 9% homes were pre-marketed, which means the properties were promoted privately before they were listed on the MLS. That's 43%. The fear was palpable. MLS was in danger, stakeholders were desperate to protect it, and pocket listings were gaining ground. From 2013 to 2019, NAR had several meetings to resolve the whisper listings problem. Finally, they found a solution.
MLS Policy 8.0.
Pocket listing ban
or clear cooperation policy. It was enforced on November 11, 2019 with almost unanimous approval from the NAR committee. The policy mandated that brokers had to list a home on the MLS within 1 business day of marketing the property to the public. NAR and the policy's advocates state that this ensures consumers have equal access to all listings. Sellers benefit from maximum exposure. Brokerages can't hoard listings and double dip. That is, pocket both listing and buyer agent commissions. The clear cooperation policy effectively banned pocket listings, with some success. Pocket listings still occupy around 4 to 5% market share of U.S. residential real estate, but that's a big drop from less than a decade ago. The policy also managed to gut pocket listing websites like the PLS.com and Top Agent Network. The traditional clear cooperation policy is all about maximizing exposure and limiting double dipping. The clear cooperation policy has one exception, though: office exclusives. Office exclusives exemption. There is a way for agents to keep listings in the pocket, so to speak, officially. According to Section 1.3 of NAR's Clear Cooperation Policy, exempt listings, if the seller refuses to permit the listing to be disseminated by the service, the participant may then take the listing, office exclusive, and such listing shall be filed with the service but not disseminated to the participants. So the old Clear Cooperation Policy did have the provision to keep listings off the MLS. With an office exclusive listing, the home gets very limited exposure, just a short window within the listing agent's own office. It doesn't go on the MLS or any online portals, so regular buyers won't see it. Basically, it's off the radar. This option has the highest chance of double dipping. Major brokerages took advantages of this provision to start their own exclusive listing networks. For example, Compass's Compass Exclusives, Howard Hanna's Find It First, and Keller Williams' Seller Exclusives. Recently, Corcoran started Corcoran Reserve, and Douglas Elliman announced their exclusive platform Black Label. They all operate under the office exclusive exemption of the Clear Cooperation Policy. Multiple listing options for sellers. The new multiple listing options for sellers policy claims to offer sellers a choice, which was the middle path recommended by many industry experts. They call it the delayed marketing exempt listings option. According to this option, a seller can choose to market the home only through the MLS. That means they will skip the online portals but still get visibility. There's still no direct exposure to buyers, but it keeps things more transparent. And the chances of double dipping are much lower. According to this policy, sellers choose whether they want to delay marketing their listing through the IDX and syndication. MLSs decide the duration of the delay window. For example, CRMLS may decide that the delay window is 14 days. MRED may decide it will last 20 days. Sellers must sign a disclosure form documenting their informed consent to forego the benefits offered by public marketing through the IDX. The listings must go live on the MLS immediately. After going through all of that, I wonder, what's the point of the Clear Cooperation Policy? Response from industry influencers. Naturally, this policy created waves. Clear cooperation has been a hot topic in American real estate for a long time. It has many high-profile critics and supporters. Critics. Robert Refkin, the policy's biggest opponent, once said,
If I were president, I would make sure that the National Association of Realtors and the hundreds of MLSs that they control can no longer enforce clear cooperation and the mandatory submission rule.
He also mentions,
it has already been effectively eliminated in a number of the largest MLSs by allowing the restrictions to no longer be restricted. I believe clear cooperation is anti-homeowner.
But now, Refkin isn't upset with the change. He wanted the Clear Cooperation Policy axed.
With NAR introducing a new MLS policy to expand choice for consumers, they acknowledge the Clear Cooperation Policy restricted home seller choice.
His contemporary Hobie Hanna of Howard Hanna shares his opinion. Before the new policy was announced, Hanna believed the rule stifled competition and innovation.
If clear cooperation stays, we'll start seeing a lot of brokers leave. We firmly believe clear cooperation should be reversed.
Now, he agrees it is a step in the right direction, but isn't entirely satisfied with the change.
It's a good step that seller choice is involved, but I think it should have been put back to a local decision by each and every MLS, not an overarching mandate.
What of the supporters of Clear Cooperation Policy? Supporters? Zillow has always been a staunch advocate of Clear Cooperation Policy. Multiple high-level executives have come out in support. Zillow President Susan Daimler mentioned in a statement to Inman,
if this rule goes away, every brokerage is going to be a pro-private listing network.
Errol Samuelson, Chief Industry Development Officer, went on to say,
when you put a listing into a private network, sellers get hurt. Private networks, or pocket listings, are also bad for buyers.
He believes repealing the Clear Cooperation Policy is bad for sellers, buyers, competition, and fair housing. After NAR introduced the clear cooperation options, Errol didn't oppose it. In a statement to Inman, he said,
NAR's decision to uphold its clear cooperation policy, including requiring a seller disclosure form for office exclusives and pre-marketing, reinforces what we have long known. Withholding listings off the MLS and behind a velvet rope limits competition, reduces transparency and disadvantages buyers, sellers, and agents.
We have a new update. Zillow changed its stance on NAR's new policy. It said a listing publicly marketed to any buyer should be marketed to every buyer.
Our new listing access standards state that any publicly marketed property must be listed on the MLS and published broadly on sites within 1 calendar day.
Lastly, there's Glenn Kelman of Redfin, who believes the clear cooperation policy is essential.
I think the argument that withholding inventory and just publishing it on one website runs counter to the scale that you see large websites having. I still think that this is just not in consumers' best interest. It just seems harder to make the argument that you want to debut a listing without getting maximum exposure.
In an op-ed published on Redfin, Kelman was clear about his opinion of the new policy. He believes that the new policy will confuse consumers, is pocket listings by another name, forces sellers to hire agents to see the listings, is too ambiguous as the decision is left up to MLSs. He wants NAR and the MLSs to come up with a better rule, one less likely to muddy the waters further. Impact of multiple listing options. The primary opponents of clear cooperation policy are Compass and the agency. Both brokerages want to succeed in the luxury residential market, where pocket listings are most prominent. All opponents, including Keller Williams and Howard Hanna, will benefit massively from double dipping. They can potentially earn twice as much through commissions and office exclusives, and that's pretty evident. Compass ranks 14th among U.S. real estate websites and is the largest brokerage by sales volume. Monthly organic traffic of 881,000 as of April 2025. The brokerage also has 7,451 Compass exclusives, listings only available on Compass and not the MLS. The new policy will go a long way to bolster the brokerage's exclusives push by allowing listings to remain on the MLS but not syndicate through IDX. NAR has denied Zillow and other portals access to these pocket listings. But in my opinion, the biggest benefactor is the buyer agent. With the new multiple listing choice for sellers, prospective buyers will need to hire a buyer agent to access these MLS-only listings. What do you think? Do you think this policy will help curb pocket listings or give them a fresh boost? Or is it just another form on your desk? Let us know in the comments below.